I'm going to talk about the 4 or 5 times I heard from God, and I can prove it, okay? One of the first times I heard from God, I was baptized in the Holy Spirit as a kid. I was 20 years old, and in 2008, I was looking at the Golden Gate Bridge, not because I was going to jump. Come on. I was looking at the Golden Gate Bridge, and I just said, man, what if there isn't a God? What if I'm a fool? What if there really, I don't think this, could this be possible? And he said, well, you can speak in tongues, dummy, and that's in the Bible. You know what I mean? From thousands of years ago. I said, okay. He told me in California that you will not leave this place alive if you stay out here. I was buying drugs from fucking prostitutes. I was working, I had everybody fooled, and, just living the dream, God told me, get out of there. And then I was in Las Vegas, and he told me to move back to New York. And I said, God, I don't want to move back to New York. Well, New York was where I got my sobriety. I was in Las Vegas and moving to California, and he told me, when I walked out in the morning, I was looking at Red Rock Canyon. I was packing up my pickup truck and getting ready to leave, and the voice "no" just ran across the mountains, like out loud and silent, like at the same time. It was hard to describe. You know what I mean? It just blew me away, and I said, come on, I just packed my truck, I'm leaving. I drove from North Carolina, and now you're going to tell me here? And it was no. And I went, and like I said, he told me I'd never leave that place alive, and he was right. Then years later, he told me to go tell my brother, hey, go tell your brother in Williamsville. My brother was fucking up. Sorry. And he wanted to move to California, and God told me, you better tell him not to move to California, or you're never going to see him again. And I'm in Niagara Falls, and listen, now I've heard from God a couple times at this point, you know what I mean? I'm in Niagara Falls at my girlfriend's house, and I said, I gotta go to Buffalo, and I gotta see my brother. It's like a 45-minute drive, hour and 30 minutes round trip. And it was like an issue. So I finally got away, I got over there, and I just said, hey, I got to tell you something, and I'm not even saying this to be funny, but God's just told me that you're not to move to California or you're going to fucking die. And he just looked at me and goes, bro, I'm not going to die. I go, bro, I went to California, and God told me, you know what I mean? He was moving back. God told me, hey, you'll fall off the face of the earth out here, and no one will ever know what happened to you. That's what God told me, okay? And I went back and yada, yada, yada. Let's see what else. I was at a prayer meeting for this Yeshua bullshit church that my friends were going to, and dragged me along, and we left shortly after. This incident caused the Torah followers to die. I was in a prayer meeting, and before I came here in 2017, and right when I was getting sober, God told me right in my house on LaSalle Street in Buffalo, right across from the subway station, that I'm going to start talking to you, and you're just to say what I said. You're not to question it, you're not to add to it, you're not to twist it, you're not to do anything with it. Just tell people what I said and don't think about it. And I said, okay. I said, yeah, I'll and he said, I'm going to reveal stuff to you, and no one's gonna believe it anyways. And at this time, listen, I wasn't a flat earther, okay? At this time, I wasn't a flat earther, so I was like, all right, what are you gonna reveal? I already know everything. So, that's another thing. He revealed the flat earth to me like 2 years later when I prayed about it. I'm getting off. So I'm at the Shalom Church. Sorry, I ate a couple mushrooms. I'm at the Shalom Torah Bullshit Institute of Technology, and God tells me to get up and tell this guy in front of like 40 people at some men's luncheon. I go, God, listen, don't do this to me here. I don't even know these people. And God's like, well, that happened in the Bible. You know what I mean? And I got up and said, basically the guy said something was going on with his wife and God told me about it. And he told me to tell him, your wife ain't going to have to worry about it anymore, okay? And I could get up and tell them, and they're like shocked because no one has the Holy Spirit at the Torah church, or is a Pentecostal person, or can speak in tongues, or any of that. You're like a cult leader, you know. When I tell people I can legitimately speak in tongues, they look at you like, girls look at you like, either it's really sexy or they don't want to be around it. You know what I mean? They don't want to be around it, you know. So yeah, so I'll tell you, I even told my friend on here, and I know you're going to watch this because I'm a narcissist, I said, you're going to end up leaving your church. And he ended up leaving his church. I kept telling him he was going to leave. I mean, I'm not telling him. God's telling me to tell him. I'm just the guy that needs your money, okay? So send your check or money order. I got to go. All right.